What's going on, everyone? So Max Christie has been very impressive. You just see him game after game, night after night. He just keeps getting better and better out there on the basketball court. He's doing the dirty work, right? He's making the hustle plays. He's really grinding out there. He's also one of the few guys that we have that actually is athletic, can shoot the ball, defend multiple positions, rebound, basically be the two-way guy that you need. Now, he's not like he can be very inconsistent right now shooting the basketball in particular and his kind of offensive game, but he's also 21 years old and this is the first real opportunity he's had on the season. But this is why I was so adamant early on this season when he was struggling and was falling out of the rotation. And, I kept talking about, like, look, JJ Redick has to stick with Max Christie, has to stick with him. Because he never got the figure it out year. He never got the year that you get to see most guys seeing, right? Like, people talk about Scottie Pippen Jr. and like Jay Huff as like recent examples. People are like, oh, I can't believe the Lakers let them go, and also they weren't that for the Lakers. Why weren't that for the Lakers? Because they never got the opportunity to become that. They never got to play through their struggles. They never got to get that figure it out year. And they went to a team in the Memphis Grizzlies, and Memphis wasn't trying to win because Ja was out all season. They dealt with a bunch of injuries and stuff. And so what happened? They said, you know what? Let's just hit the full tank. Scottie Pippen Jr., Jay Huff, these guys, they all got to play 30, 40 minutes a game. And guess what? They had games where they were awful. Scottie Pippen Jr. had games where he had more turnovers and assists, couldn't buy a bucket, was atrocious. And he's had games like that this season. Look, if Scottie Pippen Jr. was on the Lakers, people would be talking about trading Scottie Pippen Jr. It's just because he's on another team, and they only hear about the good games that Scottie Pippen Jr. has. Like the triple-double game and stuff like that. They're not actually watching him night in and night out to see what he's doing. They're just looking at the inherent stats and stuff, and just, when there's news about him having a big night, oh, he scored 20, right? But they're not looking at the 7 other games where he scored 4, right? And turned the ball over a bunch and didn't look good. Right? But look, Memphis allowed those guys to develop last season, and they got to go through the bad games and it didn't matter. And they got to go through the good games and it was great, but they got to go through it. Now you look like a guy like Max Christie. He never got to go through that. He was inconsistent. He one game he'd play 10 minutes, then he wouldn't play for 3 weeks, and then he'd start, and then it wouldn't play for a week. And it's just like, how do you ever really get into the ebbs and flows? Obviously, the Lakers aren't in the position that Memphis was in last season, where they're not a team that has to, that's trying to tank and go for a draft pick or anything like that. They're a team that is trying to contend and wants to win, right? So Max Christie, he's not going to get to play the 30, 40 minutes, unless he's having just like a really good game. He's not going to get the opportunities that he would, like Jay Huff and them got last season, which is fine. But you still have to stick with him. You still have to give him something. And then the games where he is really good, you let him keep going, right? You look at the last game. He had 17 points. Hustle, got 2 steals, doing the dirty work. He's a plus 10, 2 for 2 from the foul line, 3 of 4 from three-point range, 6 of 10 overall, right? Being aggressive, putting the ball on the deck, getting to the rim. Right? Like, those are the things that you want to see from Max Christie. You need Max Christie to continue to just stay on the grind. You need Max Christie to continue to do the dirty work, make the hustle plays, make the effort, sacrifice your body, dive for loose balls. We've talked about it before. If he could be our kind of KCP type guy, perfect. Right? That obviously, KCP is an all defensive guy, one of the premier 3-and-D guys in the league. But if he can be a version of that in the starting unit, off the bench, and eventually kind of become that, right? A more athletic KCP or a Danny Green type guy. Like Max Christie, the sky's the limit. You got to keep in mind, Max Christie's 21 years old. He's younger than our draft pick this season. And I get it. There was Dalton Connect was having, a great start to the season, and so it kind of it amplified and magnified Max Christie and his performance early on, because Max Christie was struggling. Well, then you saw them reverse, and Max Christie has been great, and Dalton Connect is struggling. I'm not worried about Dalton Connect. I don't make videos and diving into the Dalton Connect struggles. He's actually much better last game against Detroit. And the reason I don't go into Dalton Connect and his struggles is because he's a rookie. No one's expecting him to be this, or at least you shouldn't be expecting him to be this superstar every night and dropping, 25 or 37 a night and stuff like no one's expecting that. No one should be expecting that. You knew he was going to have good games and bad games. I mean, Steph Curry has laid like 4 duds in the last 6 games, and he's one of the greatest players ever. Right? So to think that Dalton Connect and these young guys aren't going to have their hiccups. I talked about it early on. I understand Max Christie is a third-year player, but he hasn't played and gotten the opportunity as if he's a third-year player. Right? You look at these guys. Even, Christian Brown, for example, on Denver. His rookie season, he played every game. He played, 20 minutes a night, 15 minutes a night. Some nights he'd start, but he always played. He was part of the rotation. And now he's starting in place of KCP. Right? Obviously, he's not KCP, and it hasn't looked as good for Denver at times as it has in the past. But the point is that, he got the opportunity, and he's been a good player for them. He's been a real starting level rotation piece, athletic, defend, do multiple things out there for them. Max Christie is what we want him to be as well. We're looking for him to be that guy, that hustle guy, that dirty work guy, that do everything, make plays, find the occasional cutter, get the loose balls, great turnovers and opportunities, keep balls alive, get out in transition, right? Get back in transition. All these things that we've seen Max Christie be able to do and be able to accomplish. And it's great to see. And we need to continue to instill that confidence in this kid. He's very talented. He has a ton of upside and potential. He's one of our few guys that has that level of upside and potential. I said it in the offseason. Max Christie has the potential to be the best of our young guys that we have. Over Connect, over everybody. As good as Connect has looked, and as high as I am on him, and as much as I think he'll be a good basketball player, Max Christie has potential to be a legit two-way guy. We've seen the ability to hit the three, seen the ability to put the ball on the deck, create for himself, create a little bit for others. Everything you could want to see for him to potentially become, not even a star, but just a very good player, right? Maybe even be the third guy on the team, right? If you have 2 other stars or something like that, right? That potential you've seen there. Again, he's 21 years old. He's young enough to have been drafted in this year's draft, right? What does he look like 2-3 years from now when he's Dalton Connect's age? That's a big difference. That's an advantage that you have here. And again, that doesn't mean that he's untradeable. I don't think that it's you can't trade. No, I think there's very few. The only guys that are really untradeable by Lakers standards are LeBron and AD. Right? I mean, in the league, period, there's only 3 guys, if that are really untradeable. And, I mean, really, you could argue Wemby's the only guy that's untradeable because most, outside of circumstances, right? Denver would probably never trade Jokic. Warriors would probably never trade Steph unless they asked for it type thing, right? But beyond that, no one is untradeable. But Max Christie just keeps impressing. And I know I've talked a lot about Max Christie lately, but it's because it's warranted. He deserves it. The dude has been A1. In so many ways. He's impacting these games on a regular basis. As soon as we moved him into the starting unit, Lakers became the number 1 defense in the league. I don't think that that's a coincidence. Literally, we moved him into the starting unit, and Lakers went from 29th to the number 1 defensive efficiency or defensive rating and efficiency in the league over that 6-game period. Right? Because he impacts so much. The ground he covers, the defense, his athleticism, his versatility. He's relentless. He's nonstop. He's picking guys up 94 feet. He's doing everything that you want to see him do. And I love to see it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you high on Max Christie? Are you not so high on Max Christie? Do you think that what he's doing this season has been impressive? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.